I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey guys, welcome back to Dish Upon a Star, where we talk to some of your favorite stars from your favorite shows and movies about projects you just can't stop watching. So today's guest is Will Catlett, and you might recognize him from Love Is, Black Lightning, and you will definitely go crazy over Charm City Kings. So how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. You know, it's Father's Day. It's in LA. Driving. The baby's in the back, and we're making it happen.
Thank you so much for doing this. And yes, first of all, I do want to say Happy Father's Day. And because you are a father to a very beautiful baby girl, if there was one lesson you want her to take from you and then move on through life with, what would it be?
Don't care about people's opinion. If you live by people's opinion, you'll die by their rejection. So live your life the way that you see fit, and you'll be all right.
Love that. And how has your idea of what it means to be a man changed throughout your life?
Well, I have an amazing father, that spent 44 years in the government back home in the Washington, D.C. area. So when you have such an incredible example who have set the bar for you, being a man changes over time. But at the same time, you can always be the chip off the old block, as my dad would say. So you always evolving as being a man. I think, the one thing my father has always instilled in me is integrity. And your name is better than rubies and gold. And so as long as you keep those things as the world changes, your core values remain the same, and it will propel you through life.
That's amazing. Who inspired you to become an actor? Because I know you had a different dream for your life before.
Yeah, I was playing basketball in college, and that was the vehicle to come to California. Acting was something that I didn't think about doing. But when I jumped into it from a guy that was working at Foot Locker, who was also an actor, had the whitest teeth I've ever seen. I asked the brother, "How'd you get your teeth so white?" He said, "Crest white strips." I said, "Well, what do you do?" He said, "I'm an actor." I said, "Oh, wow, that's awesome. I've always wanted to try that." I don't know why those words came out of my mouth. They just did. And when I started to pursue acting, I told my dad that I was getting into it. And he said, this is something that he always wanted to do. So it kind of runs in the genes. So I'm kind of like vicariously playing this acting thing out, pulling from my dad's grace.
I love that. And you also starred in Love Is on the OWN network. Now, how many times have you been asked, what's it like to meet Oprah?
Oh, wow. When the show was out, it was all the time. But I liken meeting Oprah to hiking the Great Wall. Most people never hiked the Great Wall of China in their lifetime. I was lucky to do that, and I was lucky to meet Oprah. I understand why people say when they get in her presence that they want to cry, and it's because she's so present when she's in front of you. Nothing else is going on but the conversation between you and her, and she looks into your eyes. And we just had a beautiful conversation in our office. And I remember when I got ready to leave, she tapped me on the back. It's like, keep going. It felt like Nelson Mandela had tapped me on the back, because there was so much power and so much love in that tap. So it was amazing to meet her.
And when you meet someone like that, and then you go from the OWN network to Black Lightning, which is the first time we've seen a Black superhero TV show set in where it's set with such a great story. What drew you to the role of LaLa?
Well, the funny thing with that story is that I was LaLa before I was Yasir. So when I was guaranteed for 2 episodes that this new character that they had called LaLa in the first season. And I went in and did such an amazing job that they kept bringing me back. And I remember being on set of hugging Salim, who was the director and the creator. And when he gave me a hug, I went home and told my wife, I said, I'm not sure what that hug meant, but it meant something. Now, his wife, Mara Barak Akil, is the creator of Love Is, which is on OWN. So she wanted me to come in the writer's room because she saw me from First, which is a web series I did on Issa Rae's channel. But when I got the role for Yasir, I understood that Celine was giving me permission to play him on his wife's show when he gave me that hug on set when I was playing LaLa. So it came all full circle.
And LaLa has been through a lot. Just in the first season, first you were just a high-ranking member of the 100, working for Tobias, and in a way keeping the problem that plagued Freeland keep going. What were your thoughts reading the script as you learned what would happen to LaLa just in that first season?
Well, I mean, I knew I had an opportunity to create his storyline, you know. So for guest stars or whoever may be watching this show, the guest star job and mission is to bring up the show because the series regulars are working 7 days a week almost. So your job is to be the of the show. So coming in on the first season, yes, baby. Coming in on the first season, I knew that I had an opportunity to kind of shape LaLa, and they will eventually start writing for me. So that was the amazing thing about that.
And LaLa has died and we've been reanimated a few times within the last 2 seasons that we've seen. And you also played the anti-hero adaptation of the Tattoo Man. How did you work on bringing the Tattoo Man to life and making it your own?
You know, I think when you just go in and be of service and go in and do a good job, you know, it all starts to make sense because, you know, a lot of things they keep top secret. So I didn't know anything about the Tattoo Man. Not that I didn't know about the Tattoo Man. I didn't know that I was going in that direction or my character was going in that direction. But as the show progressed, then it was like, oh, whoa, I'm getting these tattoos. I'm about to be Tattoo Man. Oh, this is killer. So, you know, it's just an amazing group of people to work with. And, you know, to bring that story, he has so much depth. And so even in the Tattoo Man in the comic, he has so much depth to him. So it's amazing to be able to dig a little deeper. Hopefully I can get a spinoff and put the Tattoo Man movie, you know?
I mean,
I'm going to put that out
into
there to the universe. Yeah.
Obviously, due to COVID, a lot of productions has been a little shut down for the last 4 months, but it's starting again hopefully soon. What do you hope for LaLa in season 4?
Oh, wow. I hope we go to the streets. You know, there's so much to uncover. You know, now that he has control over himself, I want to see the decisions that he will make. Because I grew up with cats like LaLa, you know, and one decision can change your life. So it looks like he's going to make some new decisions of leading this 100 gang. So I'm excited to see what the writers come up with.
And speaking of one decision can change your life, Charm City Kings is based on the 12 Blocks documentary by Lofty Nathan. And can you tell us a little bit about your character, Detective Rivers?
Detective Rivers is a mentor. And most cops, most coaches, being a former basketball player, you learn so much, not just from your immediate family, but for the people that you come in contact with, like coaches and like mentors. And Rivers happens to be a cop who falls in love with Mouse. And not to give too much away, you know, his whole job is to try to save Mouse, to try to show him a different way. And I've had coaches in my life that tried to show me a different way. And it's so important, you know, to be able to be that male figure, that mentor on screen, because people will look at Mouse, but they will also look at Officer Rivers and say, man, I can look up to that guy.
Especially when you do live in a, I'm trying to think of another word, but urban community where you have 2 choices of where your life is going to take you, whether it be the streets or something else.
Exactly. And he's at that point, you know, where he's like a smart kid, very intelligent, but, you know, you living in Baltimore, you living in the inner city. And sometimes you get wrapped up into, I just got to get it, how I'm going to get it. You know, me being from the inner city, I understand that mentality. It's not that it's always the right mentality, but, you know, when you're in the jungle, sometimes you only know the jungle until you go outside and see, oh, wow, there's wonderful, beautiful skyscrapers outside of the jungle.
Definitely. What do you want viewers to get out of the movie? when they finally get to see it, because it also, you guys signed a deal with HBO Max, so it will be HBO Max later this year. So what do you want for them to get out of it when they see it?
You know, I'm always into stories going beyond the medium that they're in. So my goal is that young men, African American, Latino men, Asian men, white men, young kids can look at this movie and be inspired to do something different. And also, it's a love letter to Baltimore. So Baltimore has such a rich culture and a rich city. You know, maybe the people of Baltimore or every inner city around the world. There's an inner city in Puerto Rico. There's an inner city in Brazil. That they will come together and have some type of unity and to see this film like, man, wow, life is a lot more beautiful. You know what I mean? A lot more gracious. And, you know, there's people that you can look up to, and every cop in the world is not bad. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So, yeah.
And speaking of inspiration, your short film Malcolm, which you also directed and co-wrote, what sparked the idea for this short film?
Well, my boy Antoine, I don't know why I'm thinking about Antoine. My boy Todd Anthony, who plays this incredible job portraying Malcolm X, he did a play on stage, and I saw him do the play, and I was like, bro, you got to do something with this. You got to make something happen with this. And, you know, he penned the first draft, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Let's make some tweaks. And so then I went into the co-writing process, and we shot it in 2 days. And the Nipsey Hussle part that's in there wasn't in there at first, but Nipsey had just passed, so we stopped production, and we knew that we had to put that in to Malcolm, and Nipsey always wore a Malcolm X chain. So it was just kind of like, wow, how that whole thing came together.
And in the opening, there was such a powerful line, and it rang so true to what's going on in the world. It was, we don't hate you. We don't hate those of you who are white. We just want to stay Black. Why do you feel it's so hard for people who are BIPOC to understand what Black Lives Matter movement stands for?
Well, I think everybody has their own ideology, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Okay, baby. Okay. I think everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but what I do think, she might be a little hot. Okay. What I do think is that the right for equality and the right for life itself shouldn't have to have a movement. Life is life, and life is the most precious thing on this earth. And so this what connects us all to each other. So I think that line is just basically saying that we all deserve a chance to have equality and a chance to have life. You know, the necessities of life. That will be my answer to that.
And fostering building in our own community was what was said in this short as well, with examples like LeBron James and Nipsey Hussle, what they were doing for their communities. How do you think others can foster building in their own communities?
Hold on 1 sec. Can you ask me that again?
Oh, it's okay. How do you think others can foster building in their own communities?
Hold on 1 second.
No, you're good. Take your time.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's pull over so I can finish this and maybe take her out for a little walk. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. This is like dad life, you know, like when the baby just says, you know what, I'm over it. And, you know, it's like, Mom, pull over, take her out. Yeah. Okay, we got a quick break. Go ahead.
How do you think we can foster building within our own community?
What was the question, though?
Yeah, how do you think others can foster building in their own communities, like now? Because in the short film, that was something that Malcolm really spoke on.
Baby, you got to take her out. I'm not going to make her do that. Oh, you messed up the interview, girl.
She okay.
No, okay. Yeah. Okay. Just give me like 5 minutes. Okay. Okay, cool. All right, ask me the question one more time.
So how do you think others can foster building in their own communities? Other
Well, I think.
artists? Go ahead.
Say it again. I'm sorry. No, you.
Oh no, I was gonna say like other artists and entrepreneurs, and even some of our Black billionaires that we have within our communities in our culture.
Like
right
my
now.
man Robert Smith. I love Robert Smith. Who paid off all the student loan debt for one of the graduation classes. I think it's a lot to be done. I love what JFK said. It's not what your country can do for you, it's what you can do for your country. And I think it's time that, definitely African Americans come together and pull their wealth together. From the athletes, from the entertainers, from the businessmen, from the farmers. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with, having your own. You know what I'm saying? But also, we just got to support each other, and we got to support our country. I think that's important, because a lot of times they get lost in these movements. Is that almost like we don't want to be here? You know what I'm saying? We don't want to be in America. Yeah, we don't want the oppression of America, but there's no greater country to live in than the United States of America. And when you've traveled the world, you understand that. Not knocking any places that I've been personally, but to be in the United States of America, this is what your ancestors helped build. So you want to protect that. You want to honor that. And, you can't divide a country. You darn sure don't want to divide people. So we have to do this thing together. And I think we're moving towards that.
Definitely. And now in 2020, there is like the rebirth of civil rights movement in the sense that I haven't even seen in my lifetime. But in your short, it was 2019, and then now it's 2020. What do you think Malcolm would say now, a year later?
I don't know what Malcolm would say. I know what Will would say. Will would say it's about love, and it's about action, and it's about reform, and it's about put your money where your mouth is. Like, we're over talking, people are over asking for freedom. As a young man at Court Kelly Elementary School, I was the guy that got on the mic every morning and said, "I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all." Sometimes we forget about that liberty and justice for all. That is the foundation of this country. That must be the foundation in everything. Liberty and justice for all. This is the reason why we love the American flag, because it's supposed to stand for liberty and justice for all. So as long as we're adhering to that, then we can move forward as not only as a people, as African American people, but as a unity and as a country and as humanity.
That's amazing. And we're going to get into some rapid fire favorite things so I can get you to enjoy the rest of your Father's Day. Your favorite thing about being an actor?
It's the favorite thing about being an actor is the ability to express yourself. And your images go all around the world. And you get to tell stories and bring them to life. And you get to play different people. But most importantly, you get to, for me personally, especially the roles that I decide to take on, they live with people. They become a part of the fibers of their being. And I love that. There's babies named Yasir. That's amazing. There were marriages that were getting ready to go into divorce, and they were stopped because they watched Love Is. That's art imitating life. I love that.
Your favorite show to watch specifically because of the acting?
I think I have to go back to HBO's In Treatment. That was a great show. I also liked Friday Night Lights. The acting was great on that show.
You're the second person I've heard that in 2 days tell me that.
Yeah, Friday Night Lights was dope. I enjoyed that. I'm trying to think of another one. Oh, The Ozark was great. First season of the OA was great. And baby, what's the anime you put me on to? No, Attack on Titan was great. The other one we just watched. The Last Airbender, the Avatar. That one was deep. Yeah, that was
Your
good.
your favorite thing about being a dad?
Hearing my baby saying "dada." My least favorite thing is "dada" for no reason. Just want to call my name "dada." See, she just said "dada." But yeah, that'll probably be my favorite thing. And then looking at myself and my wife and this child, but but she has her own personality.
I heard her say dad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The favorite role you've played so far?
I don't think I played that role yet, but
Okay.
there is a role that I've played on HBO's Lovecraft Country that will come out sometime in the fall. I'm very, very excited about that, and that was top secret script too. So I only got the sides when I got there, but I'm excited about that role because it's a period piece.
Okay, I'm super excited. I have one more question before you tell us any new projects, and we'll get you out of here to enjoy. What has quarantine taught you about yourself?
Ownership. I created along with my wife a whole Catlett Academy to help actors break into the industry. So um, it taught me that your dream is already with you. Everything is inside of you. Nothing is outside of you. More people may be in quarantine and COVID may be happening, which my hearts and prayers and condolences go out to everyone who has dealt with COVID in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But you must look within inside. I think the world had got to pause for a second for people to really evaluate themselves and say, is this the job that I'm supposed to be doing? Am I supposed to be working here? What is my gift? My gift makes room for me, not my knowledge and wisdom. What am I supposed to be doing with my life? And then by death being at the door for so many, it also taught us not to waste time and not to waste life. So do what you're supposed to do. And whoever may hear this, wherever this may go, live your life. Don't live for just a paycheck and to pay bills. Decide what it is that you want to do and do it, because life is short and you should enjoy it.
That was amazing. And besides your new Lovecraft, do you have any other projects that are coming up that fans can get excited to see you in?
Nah, that's it right now. I wish I had something to tell you. Other things that I'm doing, but I like to work in secret, and then then when it comes out, it'll come out.
I
But
respect that, definitely.
we didn't say the film I did with Mel Gibson, Force of Nature, will come out on video on demand on many platforms on June 30th. So I got a chance to be in a movie with Mel Gibson, and I'm so excited.
Well, guys, check out Force of Nature on video, demand, digital, everywhere on June 30th. And if you have not caught up on Black Lightning, it's already all over Netflix. And Charm City Kings will be streaming on HBO Max later this year. Thank you so much for joining us today. Do you want to tell the fans where they can find you if they don't know on social media?
You can find me at Will Catlett. I'm at a place in my life where you can actually Google my name and something will pop up. Those who are looking to break in the industry and go deeper in the craft and to be of service, you can check that Breaking in the Industry with Will Catlett at willcatlett.com. That's CATLETT.com. And I love y'all, and I thank you for all the support around the world.
And I'm Chae Jones. You can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram, and follow the Dish Upon a Star Instagram account at @DishUponAStar_. We'll see you next Sunday. You guys enjoy your happy Father's Day to all the fathers in the world, and stepdads and granddads, because we couldn't be here without you.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or